Hello and welcome to Orion Spear Point. How's everybody doing? It's a hot one here. I'm really making the desert name known. Very hot and dry today. So water is gold out here. And you can definitely feel it and the respect given to it. So, um, there's a couple of different things this could go, actually. This could be another divine masculine video, or this could be a dance of two, or this could be something else, but it's definitely involving the masculine and feminine energies, the dance within them, and the interplay and what's going on with both of them. So because this definitely feels like a shift in the collective stream of the counterparts of masculine and feminine energies and the connection between them. So there, that feels good. All right. Before we jump in, what's on the table here? What's going on? Oh, so the land out here is oof, ever since I came back, it's been pretty talkative. So I'm interested in that. So I think we'll have to see how it plays out, but I'm still playing around with the website, but there could be some offerings specifically to do from this land, um, and messages around that. Could be. It could evolve into something else. I don't know. That's you listen and you play. Um, yeah, so let's jump in. So what was coming in, and this is directly related to a lot of my travels as well. So the masculine energy, before I left, I could feel it kind of coming in. I think we talked about this, is that there was the releasing of the feminine. So where the feminine had been encaged, ensnared, not allowed to fully express, or not encouraged or reciprocated or acknowledged, any of those words, the harmonization between that from the masculine energy or from the internal feminine as well, the feminine to feminine energy, just that in general, that specifically do between the masculine relating to the feminine, that releasing was very apparent. And then within the masculine system, whether you had an internal masculine or your internal feminine or your internal masculine dealing with your feminine energies, however it may appear, when that was kind of like addressing it, the releasing of the engagement and the allowing to really spread forth, and then rewiring the circuits to the true frequency, which was there's nothing in the system that would want to hinder the feminine's full brightness, right? So that happened before I went. Okay, so now you have the masculine system. There's been a delivery made. I'll say that. So between the dance of two and the love between two, it's very apparent that between the two energies, that there is an instance where the feminine collective is a little bit, how should I say, bubbled. Like the protective mechanisms in the wall around them is reached its point, but it's not for the masculine to take it down, nor does it want to. It's what it is there's a road, and oh man, you can see this clear as day. It's everything to do with the egg and the sperm. So this is like the same instance, right? So you have the entire wall, like the egg is like the feminine collective. At least this is how it's coming in right now, right? So the feminine collective is the egg. And it's not always it's not the first sperm that comes in, it's the sperm that's allowed to enter. But what's coming into me right now is that yellow brick road is laid down not so much from the feminine collective and not from the masculine collective, it's from the divine itself. And when that kind of gets laid down, it's the masculine walking in, right? The masculine energy walking in. Okay. What does that mean? It's not, it's actually the delivery of the messages. No, not messages, energy, gifts. Gifts is the right word. It's the delivery of the gifts to revisit whether or not the current way the protective mechanisms are set up, if it's correct to continue. That feels like the volleying off point. So, and the masculine collective stream and the masculine energy in general, what it feels like it's going into is, so it's a lot of this pressure, internal pressure in this kind of moment of actualization, right? Which, I mean, to use a kind of a rundown analogy would be like, to make diamonds, you have to have pressure, right? So, but it's, I mean, I could feel it today in my system, a little bit of agitation in the energies. Not really any reason for it, but just there's a little bit of agitation specifically with the masculine energy, nothing to do with the feminine, but just about some of the shackles being broken free. So it's a little bit uncomfortable because as much as you're just like, oh yeah, just, you know, break free from them, it's like it's a little bit uncomfortable to do so. It's kind of like it's not quite the most enjoyable experience, even though you would think it would be, because it's like a breath of fresh air. It's not. It's kind of like, don't like this. And that's how it kind of felt today. So the masculine walking in, whatever this could be incredibly energetic. This can be physical, but whatever that moment was, I felt it. And it was kind of like that had been volleyed over. So, and it's kind of like that bubble of energy. Now it was kind of like, okay, like that's up to the gifts were delivered. And then it's like kind of like not so much your involvement anymore. If that makes any sense. Here's what I thought was interesting. When this energy was kind of being activated and it hit this point where it volleyed over within the collective energy, you could feel it. It hit a point and then it clicked. And I'm just like, whoa, this is different. This is new energy that I've never felt before. Where does it go from here? The interesting thing was the point of focus for my system, specifically to do with the masculine energy, was about, for lack of a better word, shining. I like to use the word about spreading your wings, because this is how it appeared to me. So in the energies, and I didn't expect this, in the energies, the binding that was around the masculine, that the masculine had its hand in putting there, that needs to be placed, right? So there's some accountability that needs to be taken and owned. It's not victim. But the binding that was put in was in direct relation to the feminine. And it was very interesting. So this, oh, there it is. So this delivery, right? So you have the egg, you have the yellow brick road set out from divine, engaging the feminine and the masculine energy, from the masculine energy. The first thing was fire. That's what I remember, was fire. It was a lot of fire. And but it was kind of like, I completely welcomed it, because that fire within the energies was, yes, it was part of the defense mechanism, but I was also kind of like, well, if it's true, it will land, and if it's not, that's fine. I can hold it. That's how it appeared in the energies. Okay, so you had the fire from the feminine, but then after all of this, the direct relation to the feminine was actually some of the imprisonment of the masculine. It's very interesting to watch it. So how it appeared to me is that my wings were wrapped and chained and bound because it was in the direct relation of the feminine of not knowing, no, that's the wrong words, of whether or not to actually unfurl your wings, which made perfect sense. So this had to be rewritten. And so as much as like before I left, it was all about the masculine releasing the feminine from anything that was the old stories, the old templates, the old obligations from the masculine to the feminine, anything like that, to actually rewire the system to the correct energy so it's harmonized between the two, between masculine and feminine. And then what's natural, because you don't force it, is that it naturally encourages the feminine's brightness, right? Because that's like the true nature. Like regardless of the feminine brightens or shines or whatever, it's kind of like it's perfectly harmonized to the true nature of the feminine energy, because it's the true nature of the masculine energy. So it's rewiring that. This is the mirror point, which is, what does that look like? So the masculine energy, like coming forth, it was the complete mirror point of where the old stories, the obligations, the weight, and the projections put on top of it. That was very interesting to feel. And it was also, it's interesting to see this because it was related directly to the protective mechanisms. That was what was interesting. Now, I'm not saying that the feminine has to release the protective mechanisms for this to happen. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that the coding within on the protective mechanisms and the energies actually directly related to the binding on the masculine. It was interesting because it made sense. At one time, this is the thing with protective mechanisms in the energies, especially, well, in anywhere, physical or in the energies, is that the reason they're so hard to let go at times, if they're asked to let go from divine, you have to like check with your guidance in your own heart, your soul source, if it's the correct way to go, always. But the reason they're so hard to let go is because they're so good at their job. They've done amazing work because at one time they were incredibly necessary. That's the thing. So, and this is the direct relation to the masculine energy. Like this is what I felt, the binding on the masculine, it was in relation to that. So freeing the masculine system from that. So the feminine, the mirror point is as much as the masculine freeing the feminine was also the mirror point of that. So, and it was interesting to feel it because one of the things that I felt within the protective mechanisms was directly related to the feminine sovereignty energy, because it was like, okay, we just got free. We're not going to get entrapped again. And it was interesting, but it was also like, okay, but there's a place for the masculine within life. Okay. And it also means within your stream because you're a part of life. So it's interesting to feel that. So it's not compromising energy and you're not compromising your sovereignty, but it is hitting that point pretty strongly. Witnessing all this was very fun because I had to, so my internal feminine and the feminine collective and my counterpart, how I all, and my relationships, just my relationships in general, how it felt to me was like there was a complete readdressing. It was this kind of like, and it wasn't projection, or it was just like my hand in the binding was unraveling that. And so, and just kind of like spreading the wings, like just getting them out and being like, nope, they're ready to come out. And they're just like, okay, I'm just going to follow guidance and soul source always. And so, and it was amazing to watch it. But this is the fun. This is a really fun moment because, I mean, it's uncomfortable. Like it can be. There's uncomfortable little pockets within it. But at the same time, it's very fun because I don't know what this is, but we've hit a moment within the collective stream between the masculine and feminine energies. That, again, I say this a lot. It seems like I'm hitting a broken record. It's just like, but it does feel new. It feels new and it feels different because I don't know what this is because it's breaking down a lot of different things. The main, I can tell you that the focus, the lighthouse point of the feminine energy that has actually been correct and like leading the masculine along this journey has shifted, because that's definitely shifted. And it's interesting because now the point of focus is now directly to soul source. And it's just like, oh, wow. So, and this is different. Now the energy kind of feels like it's accelerating, it's amplified, it's hit a new level. And where it goes from here, I don't know. And that's fun. It's very fun to watch this kind of like evolve and continue and go through these stages. Um, so I'm very excited to see where it goes. Just within the energy and the releasing of the masculine energy and what that means, how it interacts, growing into itself. That's really important too. Um, Feeling it and kind of like just growing into it. You know what it feels like? I think I said this a little bit ago. It feels like a giraffe body. I had a dog, and beautiful dog. I miss her dearly. Um, but she was a Whippador, so a Whippet lab mix, but she grew up really, really fast. And she was the runt of the litter. And there was a time when she just turned one where all she wanted to do was run, but she would go sideways because she had giraffe legs. And so she was still growing into her body. So she couldn't turn. So every time she tried to turn, she would like fall over. And when she tried to dart straight, her back end would go sideways. And that's kind of how it feels, is that there's so much activation, there's so much energy kind of like going through the system. It's activating all these different parts that it does take time to kind of like embody into it and feel what that tastes like and walk the walk as well. So I'm going to leave it right there. Um, yeah, that feels good. So I have sessions available and the website is getting work. So I did a couple more work on it. I'm gonna put up the probably this week. My goal is to put up the members section, which I'm very excited for because that's going to be a whole doorway into a lot of different things. And then there's going to be some downloads from different lands that finally want to share a lot of what they have to offer, and then seeing what this land wants to do because it's starting to talk. And yeah, that's going to be interesting. So, but with that, I'll link everything down below. And Connor, I love you. Thank you. I love you. Giving you a lot of love. Enjoy the rest of your day. Say hi to a tree where you are or the land that you're currently on. And if you are near water or you're in a place of water, say hi from me, because it's a every place holds different, and this place is a little bit more of a air and fire place. So with that, I love you and shine bright. Take care.